Good afternoon, students. It's Miss Kenji, and I'm so happy to be back with you for another wonderful art project. Today, we will be exploring the op art movement. Op stands for optical illusion. I'm sure you're aware to some degree when you're playing your video games. Before we get started, I'm going to show you a brief video on op art. Our learning goal today is students will learn a brief history about the op art movement and one of the most famous op artists, Bridget Riley. Students will then design an op art project and choose their color combinations. Here are some inspiring questions teachers, parents can ask their students after the op art project. For our supplies today, you will need paper, pencil, ruler, colored pencils, crayons, markers, or Sharpie, whichever you prefer. So I'd like you to meet Bridget Riley. She was one of the first artists to explore optical illusion as a style of art. Bridget was born in London, England on April 24th, 1931. And as she grew up and went to college, she studied art and eventually became an illustrator and an art teacher for children. In about the 1960s, she began to develop her own signature art style, which was op art, which consisted of black and white geometric patterns, lines, and colors. Everyone knows op art is short for optical art and has everything to do with the optical illusions of the lines, the colors, and the patterns that play an important role in op art. By placing these design and elements next to each other, it plays a trick on our eyes. Here are some of Bridget Riley's most famous op art pieces. Notice how it has movement, defies gravity, and plays a trick on our sight. Some of you will see one thing and others will see another. Bridget Riley, one of the most famous op artists of the time. Wasn't that interesting? And now let's begin our op art project. Part of your arm and your hand needs to be in the center of your paper. And you're going to take your pencil and draw around each finger. Make sure your fingers are farther apart. And keep your arm straight and draw around with your pencil all the way around each finger until you come back to the end of your arm. Okay, now we have drawn our hand, and now we are going to take our ruler, but this time turn your paper in the horizontal direction so that you can see exactly where you're drawing your lines. All right? Okay, so our first line, we want to make each line about 1/2 inch apart. If it's easier for you to make a little line where you're going to draw your line all the way up, go right ahead, hold your ruler steady, and move it up, trying to keep each space equal. Like I said, try to keep them as equal, the same dimension. Hold your ruler straight so it doesn't move around. And right there. And now I'm going to go back and very carefully draw it all the way across the paper. However, I am not going to draw over my hand. So let me demonstrate one. Make sure you line it up with your line that you drew as your starting point. And you see that I skipped over the hand. So make sure you do not draw on top of your hand. Try to make sure that your ruler is completely straight so that it balances out on the other side. Okay, you can see that I have drawn the lines in between the fingers as well. So as you come down, not going on top of your hand, go also and draw the lines in the spaces. So I'm just going to show you right here. This line comes across here. It also comes here. Okay, see that? Now, because we're using pencil, it might be a good idea to take another piece of paper and cover it because you don't want to smear your pencil with your hand. Okay? And then here. Take your time because one thing about op art is you do want your lines to be as straight as possible. And even Miss Kenji has to take her time, hold down the ruler, and make sure my lines are straight. We have our hand and we have our lines. And now we are going to draw each line over the hand, and I will demonstrate how that's going to work. So we'll start at the bottom. Because the hand is circular, you want to take your time and go up and back down. Make sure these lines are connecting. Up and down. See that? So just take your pencil and draw up and then down to connect here. Now notice that I'm taking my time because this line on the side must connect with the lines on the hand in order for it to look like an optical illusion. And this line will go over the thumb. Here, there, and there. This part is the most tedious because if you notice Bridget's drawings, they were very, very organized. All right, and then we're going to go here and then just right here. Okay, next we are going to color it in, and we're going to choose 3 colors. I'm going to choose a turquoise blue, a red, and a yellow. Now notice that I have a yellow colored pencil, and that's because the yellow marker might tend to smear with the other markers. And you can use crayons if you like, or you can go ahead and use colored pencils, which might be easier. The colored pencil might be a little easier to use. All right, we're going to create a pattern. So first, I'm going to put 3 colors in each line. All right, just get that top off. So you have to kind of monitor yourself where it's going to go. So I'm going to go here. Okay, and then I'm going to go up, following my line that I created, and then off to the other side. All right. I want to make sure that's nice and straight. Then I'm going to take my red, okay, And I'm going to put my red next to my blue. So my pattern then is yellow, red, and blue. And take your time. This is not a project where you need to rush yourself. Make sure that it's connected. And then off to the other side. But notice how I'm leaving space for each color to be approximately the same size. That's important. Okay. And I'm going to show you one, and then I'm going to speed up the camera so you can see the finished project. All right. And then I'm going to use my colored pencil for my yellow. So I'm just going to go across here. And I do want to go back and kind of just fix up my red right here. Make it nice and smooth. I'm taking my time to show you that, you know, we don't have to hurry our projects. All right. Now I'm going to start with my yellow, my red, and my blue. Yellow, red, blue, all the way to the top. Okay, students, so you can see I finished coloring in the op art project, and you can see how beautiful that came out. And I hope you will have a wonderful experience in creating your op art. So take your time, enjoy yourself, relax, and Miss Kenji will see you for another wonderful project next time. Until then, I am an artist, and so are you.